The Rana Plaza disaster is often called the deadliest accidental structural failure in modern human history. More than 1,100 people lost their lives, and thousands were injured, many permanently disabled. What makes this collapse especially tragic is that it was entirely preventable. The event not only revealed engineering flaws, but also deep-rooted problems in governance, ethics, and global supply chains. As engineers, we study this failure not just for its technical mistakes, but for the way it shows how lives can be endangered when safety is ignored. Rana Plaza was originally designed to be a 6-story commercial complex, suitable for offices and retail spaces, not for industrial production. However, without approval or reinforcement, 2 additional floors were added, and the space was converted into garment factories. Inside, heavy industrial sewing machines, generators, and large workforces operated daily. These modifications created loads and vibrations far beyond what the original design accounted for. This decision to repurpose the building without engineering checks set the stage for disaster. On April 23, 2013, large structural cracks appeared in the building's walls and columns. Terrified workers and local residents noticed these warning signs. The bank and shops inside closed immediately. However, factory managers, under pressure to meet international clothing orders, ordered workers back into the building the very next morning, threatening that they would lose their jobs if they refused. This illustrates a critical ethical breakdown. Even when evidence of danger was visible, profit and production were placed above safety and human life. The collapse was the result of a perfect storm of failures. Investigations found that low-grade concrete and inadequate steel reinforcement had been used during construction. The building's foundations and columns were undersized for the eventual loads. The illegal addition of extra floors dramatically increased vertical loads, while generators placed on upper floors introduced vibrations that weakened already fragile structures. Most critically, the human decision to ignore warnings and continue operations turned a failing building into a deadly trap. At around 8:57 a.m. on April 24th, the building gave way and collapsed in less than 2 minutes. The structure pancaked, trapping thousands of garment workers inside. Survivors later recalled hearing the sound of concrete cracking before the floors above them fell. The collapse was so sudden and complete that escape was nearly impossible. Rescue workers, many of them local volunteers, dug through the rubble for weeks. Despite heroic efforts, the scale of the disaster was overwhelming. The Rana Plaza collapse sent shockwaves around the world. It exposed the dark side of global fast fashion, where Western brands rely on cheap, outsourced labor without ensuring safe working conditions. In response, the Accord on Fire and Building Safety in Bangladesh was signed by major international clothing companies, committing them to independent inspections and safety upgrades. The building owner, Sohail Rana, was arrested and faced criminal charges, along with several factory managers. Yet, critics argue that real change has been slow, and garment workers in many places still face unsafe conditions. From an engineering perspective, the Rana Plaza collapse demonstrates how ignoring design intent and using substandard materials leads to catastrophe. But the deeper lesson is ethical. Engineers, owners, managers, and even global corporations have a responsibility to protect the lives of workers. The tragedy also highlights the importance of safety culture. Without it, even the best designs and codes are meaningless. The disaster was not just an engineering failure, but a systemic failure of accountability. The Rana Plaza collapse reminds us that failures are not only about broken concrete and twisted steel. They are about broken systems, failed oversight, and ignored responsibilities. For engineers, the lesson is clear. We must never forget the ethical dimension of our work. Every calculation, every material choice, every inspection or lack thereof, can affect lives. Rana Plaza stands as a stark warning. When ethics are compromised, engineering becomes deadly.